It is, you guys. It is your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Drama Like Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and pacing for justice, hoping girl to see justice before all face to bled. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, I left off. I was doing a video about doctors and discrimination that I have basically came across when dealing with doctors in my lifetime. Discrimination and isms always rear their ugly heads, like in every aspect of life. And it's like we need to just get over our differences so that we can get to the things that we have alike. Because believe it or not, most likely we have more similarities than differences, right? Inhale. Don't you inhale? Exhale. Don't you exhale, girl? We all put our pants on one leg at a time. We do the same things. We're all human. But we want to believe because my color or your color sets us above or below and beneath and over, and that makes no sense. You cannot judge a book by its cover or by its color, right? So let's jump right back into it. First, I'm gonna give you a little snippet of where I left off. It was some discrimination going on when I was taking my daughter to the doctor. He was like, your mother don't keep your clothes clean. And I'm like, huh? Like, excuse me. Then he was like, you haven't brought her for this appointment, that appointment. I said, but I bring her when she's sick. I mean, I don't bring her for every, thing that, you know what I'm saying? I kept up with her shop records. I kept up with all the physicals and things like that. But all this other stuff, like, girl, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, okay, so the answer I gave him, I'm like, sir, I'm a single mother. Like, I bring her when she's sick. Other than that, it's very hard actually to bring her to get off from work and to do this and do that. It's hard. And he told me, I have patients that have 2 and 3 kids, and they make sure that they are to every appointment and their jackets are not dirty. And I'm like, I'm really, really, really appalled by what he's saying to me. But I'm sitting there. Okay, so that's where I left off talking about the doctor. And then before that, the comment where I said Marcello had just been wrongfully arrested. So he had came to the first or second appointment. And, he was wrongfully arrested when money was only 2 months. So, and the doctor said, so where's the father? And I said, well, he's in jail now. And he told me it figures. Girl. Can you believe that man said that? So let's jump right back into it before this had to be a part 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anyways, girl. So that doctor, that day when he told me that stuff, that basically I'm a bad mother, and I'm thinking all the stuff that I do, I'm struggling to keep it together. I'm doing the best I can. I know I'm trying harder than the next. A lot of situations I've been in, I know I've seen other people in the same situations, and they don't hang in there like I hang in there. They don't keep trying like I keep trying. They don't just stay afloat. They end up just, falling by the wayside. Everybody ain't as strong. I'm a freaking strong woman for real. I'm going to tell you, I had this one little verse. So many times, coulda, shoulda, woulda, gave up. My name's Cadillac, but I'm built for it tough. You see, my mama and them raised me so that the streets wouldn't persuade me. No matter what happens daily, you gotta keep your head up. Girl, I done been through some tough situations. I know a lot of people would have cracked under the pressure. But like I said, I'm Cadillac, but I'm built for it tough. I'm a tough woman. I don't give up on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Girl, I'm strong. And I did it. I did it alone. And it was hard. I don't care if I did just have one child. That ish was freaking hard. It was the fight of my life. And basically, he was telling me that other women have 2 and 3 kids and they do better than you're doing. Basically, what he was trying to say. And I'm like, I'm making it, but barely. You don't know how. And it made me feel so bad. And I remember going home and crying to my mother. I was like, I can't believe this doctor said this to me. And I was like, Ma, I try to be the best mother I can. I know I'm not perfect and I know I'm not doing everything that I could do, but if I wasn't under so much freaking pressure, I probably could have did more. If I wasn't having to be mother, both father, going to school, working overnight. Like, working overnight depletes you. Like, and I told him I work overnight. Like, you're comparing me to your kids' parents that have mothers and fathers, so maybe they don't have to freaking work overnight. Or you're comparing me to, you know what I'm saying? Don't compare. I mean, maybe that situation was easy for them, but it's not. It's the fight of my freaking darn life, you know? And I just went home and I freaking cried. And I'm like, he just said I'm a bad mother. Maybe I am a bad mother. Maybe I'm not doing everything that I could do. I didn't do it. I don't, and beating myself up. That's what I always do. People already put me down, and then I go and analyze it and be like, well, maybe you aren't this and you aren't that. That is something I've always struggled with, and I'm getting better with. I know myself. I know my genuine heart. I know anything that I do, I try my best at it, and I have given it my best shot, whether I achieve it or don't. I know that I've done the best that I can do. And I know that I was the best mother that I can be under the circumstances that I had to raise my child. If I had better circumstances, then I think I would have been a better mother. But the best mother that I can be under the circumstances I was given, right? And I think I did a lot better than a lot of people do. So I went home and I cried, and my mom was like, Keita, that man don't know you. Like, you are a good mother. Don't worry about what he said. And I never took her back to that doctor. And I can't believe he said that. So I basically took her from that doctor, and I went back through, at that time, Money did have Medicaid or kid care. She had kid care, right? So I took her to another doctor, and that was it was one, oh, before that, he wasn't, the comment I got, he wasn't even a good doctor either. Because I remember he came in and he claimed that Money had, this was when swine flu was going around, that Money had swine flu because she got sick, right? So he was like, she has the swine flu. And I was like, so don't you do any tests or something? Like, how do you know she has swine flu? He was like, because that's all that's going around. So she has swine flu. So he treats her, gives her the medicine for the swine flu, whatever. And when I brought her back to basically the next time I was supposed to bring her, he was up there saying that she needs to get her shot for swine flu. Needs to get her, it was some type of thing that they had. I don't know if it was some they had, and he wanted her to get it. And I'm like, for what? You said she already had it. Why am I giving? That doesn't make sense. So that means you wasn't even paying attention to your patients and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But soon after that, I just took money away from that doctor, and I went on to find me another doctor. So she ended up under this Medicaid. It was this one place that I went. Girl, they don't treat, when you have Medicaid, a lot of places treat you like you ain't, they treat you, you know how you say you get what you pay for? So if you ain't paying for nothing, girl, you ain't getting nothing special. That place would literally have you can have an 8 o'clock appointment, and you better be there on time. But they would have you sit in there waiting 3 to 4 hours just to be seen. And I was a single mother, and I'm like, I'm just trying to take her to the freaking doctor, and I'm spending 4 to 5 hours. Like, it was so ridiculous. And it didn't even seem like the doctor had to move that slow. It seemed like they were just doing that because we were patients that they could just F over, basically. You get what you pay for. So these people are here for free handouts, so we're just gonna give them whatever we got left, And that's a shame that people treat people in that manner. Like, I mean, Medicaid and all of those different situations and food stamps and all of that, we're taxpayers. Like, if you working, they taking your money out anyway. So if I basically, you're taking my money, I'm working, and you're giving me back my money that you've taken in maybe Medicaid or food stamps or whatever. So you're not giving me your money. I've worked for this. This is something that we all pay into just in case we all needed it. So why look down on someone if they're having to utilize it? Now, I know every situation, somebody's abusing it, somebody's taking advantage of it, but not everybody that's on those situations are abusing and taking advantage of it. So they shouldn't really treat you differently, but a lot of times you will notice the facilities are ran a whole lot different when you're coming in with those cards rather than your A1 insurance. Okay, so my next situation of where I felt very much discriminated and treated like, when he really ain't had to treat me like that, treated less than when dealing with doctors, was when I first found out I do have a rare eye disease. I am blind. I don't see anything out this eye. I see watercolors good. I see swirls and circles and lights, but I can't make out anything out this eye. This eye is getting really bad, but it's not as far gone as this eye. Eventually, my corneas are going to rupture. That means just pop open. It's almost like if you have a balloon and the way the doctor explained it to me, get a boiled egg and just squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. And eventually, I need to do this. I actually need to boil an egg and show y'all. That would be a good video. Maybe I'll do that girl, eggs are expensive. Can I play with an egg like that? Girl, that could have been breakfast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could have, but I'm going to do it for this one illustration. I'm going to boil an egg, and it's like you squeezing all the pressure on my eye until, boom, it just pops open and your cornea ruptures. So that's why I'm going to need the transplant. That's why I always have to keep insurance. That's why I always have to keep a full-time job, because I need the insurance because of the transplant. So one thing leads to another, And this is why I'm not in my calling as an artist, because there's no insurance plans with artists. Girl, what's the artist insurance plan? The insurance plan is you just got to keep your 9 to 5 and do your art on the side. Girl, I'm also wondering, if I did make it as a YouTuber, what would I do about insurance? I guess I would just have to purchase my own insurance, and hopefully I'm making enough as a YouTuber to still pay for that transplant. Girl, so even if I made it as a YouTuber, would I still be able to quit my job? That's a whole another video for another moment. But when I first found out about the keratoconus, I found this one doctor in my area. It's not a lot of doctors that at that time, this was 2000 and I want to say 11. I think it was 2011, because I had lost my license, because I have some of the worst things happen to me. Basically, I had an identity theft, and the person had tickets in a whole nother state. I haven't told my identity theft story as of yet, but the person had tickets in another state. So I knew my vision was declining, and I was going to actually renew my license online, but I couldn't because those tickets had to be paid in the other state before that I can have my license reinstated here. So I ran out of time, basically. So I had went to doctor after doctor after doctor. At that point, they made my license temporary, and if I didn't find, I had like 60 or 90 days to correct my vision before they take my license completely. So I was scared because I had went to so many doctors that misdiagnosed me, told me any type of randomness just to get me out of their face and to take my money. So there were so few doctors that actually treated keratoconus at that time. So that was like the only doctor in my area that was under my insurance. So he started doing like with keratoconus, they have to like make these special hard contacts for you. So it caused something that they call like topography. Not the topography in graphic design. This is basically like making a map of your eye, because your eye starts to make a cone shape. So they map out the eye so that they can strategically make this hard A contact that can correct your vision. Basically what it's doing, because my eye is cone shaped, like the doctor tells me, there's nothing wrong with my eye. It's just the lens. It's like if you took a camera and bashed the lens, like how my phone all mashed up. There's nothing wrong with the camera of the phone. It's the point of the screen over the phone being broken. And that's how my eye is. There's nothing wrong with my eye. It's the lens over my eye that's all bashed up and messed up that causes me not to see. So by it making that cone shape, you can't see through it. So the point of the contact is to make it more flatter. And then once you make the surface appear flatter, I can see through it. So the guy, I had insurance. I was working at the super center, which gave me pretty good insurance. That was one of the reasons I stayed tied to that place. Like I was telling y'all in my starting over video, girl. So basically I went there. He did the mapping of it, and it was so crazy. Y'all heard that I once was blind, but now I see. I literally was blind, but now see. I used to could not see my hands. I remember when he made that contact, I couldn't see my face. I used to get so close to the mirror, like close, and I could not see my face. Like I could see the colors and swirled around, but I really couldn't see how my face looked. I couldn't see my hands, and I definitely could not look down and see my feet. I used to look at my daughter, and I couldn't really see her face. Like it was... And the thought that used to go through my mind was, one day I won't be able to see my daughter. So I put that contact in, and it was like amazing. It was a freaking miracle. For the first time in years upon years, I was able to see. And I seen across the room, and I seen my hands, and I seen my feet and my face in the mirror. So the doctor, he had cut the contact, and I was so excited. I was thinking about drawing him a little picture, like, you really helped me out and this and that. So then he's like, now we have to talk about the issue of payment. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So like I said, I was old school. This was the early 2000s or whatever. I grew up in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. My mama used to tell, oh, can you bill me at the house? Just send the bill to the house. And so that's what I asked him. I was like, can you bill me at the house? And he was like, no, we've waited long enough. I'm like, you just finished servicing me. Like, I had to come. When you're getting fitted for contacts with keratoconus, you literally will sit through 2 to 3 hours of them mapping your eye. I went through several different appointments for hours. It used to make me so overwhelmed, for hours just sitting in a person's chair as they looking in my eye. Like, so I'm like, we just finished. What do you mean? Like, can I do a payment plan? Like, okay. He was like, no, I've waited long enough. And I'm like, well, okay, so I'm going to have to stop here. But that doctor, I got some more stories about how I could not believe that was the way that I was treated. And I was not trying to not pay him. I just didn't know that you needed all this money on spot. All right, guys.